welcome to the channel. This video will show paper 2, the document production using Word, and it's from the June 2021 series, and it's 0417 and the code 22. Okay, we'll head down to the evidence document, so just make sure name, centre number, candidate number appears in there. So you can just put that into the header and then save as with your candidate number as the file name, and as you go we'll place the screenshots in when needed. Okay, task 2 is the document. We are going to edit and review a document. A house style must be used. 2 paragraph styles have already been created. An additional paragraph style must be created and then applied to the document as instructed. So we'll open the file J2122 multi. Okay, and you can see it's a couple of pages long, or 3 pages long with just some text in there. So the first question, set the top, bottom, left and right margins to 2 centimeters. So to do that, you go up to layout, we'll click on margins and custom margins. Okay, and then now just change each of the top, bottom, left and right margins all to 2. Okay, and you can see the margins have gone smaller. Okay, once that's completed, we can move on. So I'll just highlight this yellow, and the page is already set to A4 portrait. Don't make any changes to that. Okay, there's already a style called MS body. Do not make any changes to that, and then take a screenshot to show the margin settings. Place in your evidence document. Okay, you can see a couple of things there. On home, we've got the MS body, which is set to each of the text in the body, and then we have to go back to our layout, margins, custom margins, and you can take a screenshot of just that setup. That'll be your evidence. Okay, and then pop that into the first. Oh, you have to close that down, and then we'll pop that into the first evidence. Okay, so I can obviously make that a bit smaller, as long as we can see the 2 centimeters in each one. Okay, so keep saving that as you go through. We'll go back to the questions, and yeah, we can move to number 2. Save the document in your work area in the format of the software you're using with the file name MS Review. Okay, and then we need some evidence of the document. Make sure there's evidence of the file type. Okay, so if we open that back up again and save as, if you go to browse, and we'll save it in the folder that we're working in, and we'll just double check the name MS Review, so it's all capital letters. Okay, and save. Now for the evidence on that question, we can look at the folders. You need to right click and make sure you're on details, and we just need to make sure there's evidence of the file type we're using, and you can see here the file type. If something comes up that it isn't there, you can right click and go to more and find maybe the file extension. So I'll put that as second, just in this top here, multi is there, and you can see it's a rich text format. So if we take a screenshot, and yeah, we'll just make sure that that's in the folder that we're working in. Okay, and then if you add that into your evidence document as the next piece of evidence, again, just make sure obviously it's readable and it shows the type of file it is. Okay, next question. Okay, place in the header the text created by, followed by a space and your name, center number, candidate number. That has to be left aligned. Okay, and then in the footer, automated page numbers right aligned. Okay, so first step is your created by, and then you have your name, number, center. Okay, at the bottom we can do the footer, and if we go to the tools, we need page number, and that needed to be bottom right aligned. Okay, and then just check that that's applied on every page. Yes, it has. Okay, I think if we try and get the questions in both, we can read them as we go as well. That could be quite useful. Okay, make sure all alignments match the page margins. You can see here they match with the margin. There's nothing else in them, and it's displayed on all pages. Okay, so we can start now looking at the styles. So question 4, create and store the following style, making sure it's the default paragraph style. So it's MS subhead. It says to create, so you can click up in styles. Just make sure you're not in a paragraph. Let's just put the cursor there and click on create a style. Okay, and make sure it's the same name exactly as the question, MS subhead. Okay, and then go on to modify that. It says it has to be linked, based on the default style. In this case, we'll go to normal. And it needs to be a sans serif font, so without style. So Arial is the best sans serif font you can use if it doesn't give you a font. Size 18. It needs to be center aligned, bold, underline. To get the line spacings, you can go to format and paragraph, and it's over here. So we can have single line spacing, 0 space before, and 9 points after, and press OK. And then it says place in your evidence document a screenshot to show the style settings have been defined. Okay, so to do that, this is your screenshot, making sure it covers everything that you were asked. Okay. And then again, don't forget, add that. Oh, you have to press OK, and add that to your evidence document. Okay, it's gone on to the next page, so you can maybe let's add in a page break so we can see that, and that could be a little bit smaller maybe. Okay, so you can see because I was in that paragraph, it's applied that new subhead, which will probably be for the subheadings of this document. So to change this back, just click on MS body again, and that puts it to the rest of the body text as well. Okay, so we can move on to the question 5. So at the start, we can add a title. So I've just added a line, and it's going to be Multisport Review. Again, make sure that's spelled exactly the same to get the marks. The style MS title has already been created and stored, and it says to modify MS title style and change it to this, only this. So let's go up to MS title, If I click in the title as well, that should change the title, which will probably be the next question. So MS title, modify, and again, just go through each of those steps and make it the same. So it's a serif font, so Times New Roman is the best font to use for that. And 18, it needs to be center aligned. Okay, bold and italic. It's not underlined, so you take that off. We need to go to paragraph, and it's 0 spacing after and single lines. Okay, and I think we can just leave style based on to normal, as that was already there and it doesn't ask anything otherwise. Okay, so this should be our screenshot. Press OK, and let's go down to our evidence for step 6, and we can add that in there. I'll just make it slightly smaller. At the end, we can go back before we print to change where everything is in the evidence. Okay, next question. Apply that into the title. Okay, and then the next question, locate and move the paragraph. So now we can press Ctrl F, and we can type in triathlon is an endurance, and we can find endurance here in this paragraph. Okay, and it asks for that it appears immediately after the subheading triathlon. So you can select all that text. You could cut it or copy and paste it, but the easiest way is just to highlight it and drag it up to that paragraph, and then just make sure it's consistent with the rest, so the line spacing in between the paragraphs. Okay. Question 9, change the page layout so the subheading general participation and all following text is displayed in 2 columns with an equal width with 1 centimeter space between the columns. So find general participation, here it is, and everything, so all text after that all the way to the end. Okay. Let's go up to layout. We can choose columns. I would always click on more columns. We need 2 with spacing of 1 in between. Okay, and that will make 2 columns, which changes the layout quite a bit of the whole document. Okay. Right, next question, we apply square bullets. So I remember seeing earlier, it looks like there's a list in here. Okay, just make sure the list looks like it goes over to the next side of the column. So avalanches and landslides, so we need to make sure you select that side as well. Okay, and we need bullet points, so go to home and click on bullets. You can see they're circular, so just click on the little drop down, and it wanted square bullets. Okay, the bullets need to be aligned to the left margin, so click on layout and change the indent here, and let's make that all the way to 0, and it's aligned to that margin, and single line spacing, and a 6-point space after, which it already has. For the line spacing, we can click on this button, and it's already line spacing single. Okay, but we have to just double check that. Okay. Okay, and yeah, so I think that's all complete. Number 11, identify the 5 subheadings and apply the MS subhead style. So just look through, there's a subheading there, winter triathlon, go to your styles, and it was subhead. Okay, if we move up, number 2, three, 4, and 5. Okay, now yes, so that's applied to 5. So the next question, 12, is using the data in the file J2122 compare. Create a vertical bar chart to compare entries by gender for only the categories that contain duathlon or triathlon. Okay, so if I open that file, okay, and it's called compare. Okay, and let's just open that file up. Let's try that again, compare. Okay, and here it is. So what it wants is, let's just move this across so we can see. You can see there's some data and we need to hold all of the duathlon or triathlon. So there's 4 of them, and then just for men and women. If you hold down Control, we can also select the headings of these. You go up to Insert, and it wanted a vertical bar chart. So we can use that one. You can see it's added that in, and it does compare the two. Okay, we need to just double check that question again, and we'll see what it needed. Comparison of participation is the title, and it needs to show the percentage numbers only as data numbers at the top of each bar. Okay, and a legend which only shows men and women. Okay, so comparison of participation is the chart title. Okay, if you double check as well if it's got capital letters in, that's just something I need to, yes, comparison of participation, obviously check spelling. If something's not there, you can always go up to chart element and find it from this list. The legend is already there. If you find that it doesn't match up to these, you can also click on select data and then select men or women for the legend. Okay. We need the data labels, and they need to be on the outside end. I think that shows that it's the top of the bar, which are the percentages. Okay, so I think we've fulfilled those 2 points. So the data labels on the top, yes. And the next question, so the format the value axis scale to display 0 to 100. So minimum of 0, max is 100. You can see this one, actually it goes up to 90%. So to change that, click on this axis, which is here, and we can go over to the format over here, and yeah, axis options I've clicked on. Okay, the minimum is 0 and the max needs to be 1 as a percentage. Click off and you can see it's gone up to 100%. Perfect. Okay, and back to the question, because we've answered that one. Number 16, insert the chart after the paragraph ending and make sure the chart fits, all the data fits in the column width and all the data labels are displayed in full with no overlap. So you could take a screenshot of this and copy it over. I'm going to try and just copy it. So copy, and if I add it back over here, and it needed to be on more popular with women. Okay. If you can't find that, you can press Ctrl F in the Word document and type in some of that text there. So it's the first paragraph after general participation. Okay. So if you paste it in, and let's double check the question after the paragraph. So here we can paste it. Just look at the paste options when you right click, and obviously that changes what it looks like. I don't think that answers the question. Same, we can't see all the data labels, but as a picture is probably the best. Okay. And we can then just change the size of that image and it had to be in the column width. So try and get it so it's the same width as the column text. Okay. Yeah, and I think that answers the question as well, because there's no overlap and we can see the data labels. Number 17 is an image question. It says to import the image ski, place it in the paragraph beginning, the running is contested. Okay, again, you could use the search, Control F. I can't quickly see that, so I will do that. So Control F instead of reading everything, and we need to search for the running is contested. Yeah, and it wants it to be placed in the paragraph, aligned to the left of the column and top of the paragraph. Okay, the left of column and top of paragraph. So we'll click here, the running is contested. Okay, we can close that down now. Insert picture. There it is, ski. Okay, crop the image to remove only the bottom third, so most of the snow below the skiers. So go onto the format and crop. So most of the text below the skiers, around 1/3. Yep. And then format the cropped image so that it's 4 centimeters wide. Okay. So the width is here. You can check the aspect ratio as well. In here, it's locked. So if you change the width to 4, okay, and it's aligned to the left of the column, and the text wraps around. So we can go up to wrap text and we can put it square, and that will mean the text wraps around it. So just make sure it's right in the top of that column. There we go. Okay, and we've answered all of those. So next question, 18. It looks like we've come to the end. So it says spell check and proofread the document. The main things to proofread is anything that you added yourself, like the titles and things you added and your name. You've not made any mistakes. Make sure the list and chart are not split over columns or pages. So look for the chart and look for the list. Yeah, you can see it's not across the two. There's no widows or orphans. This one's sometimes difficult to do. You can see Aquathon starts at that top of the page. It doesn't go onto this one. If it was here, you could put it as a new column break or page break to here. And there's a little one there, but I think that's okay, I think. Okay. There's no blank pages. Again, if you did print it and you had an extra page, don't include that. Styles are applied consistently. Just check it asked at the start of the question to make sure MS Body is all of the main styles. So you haven't left out any of the subheadings, and no changes have been made to the MS Body. Okay. Spacing is consistent between all items. I think the only item I've noticed that's maybe not consistent is this this chart here. So maybe if you press enter and just take a look if that's affected anything else. Yeah, so this is still at the top. Okay. So there's no widows or orphans after I changed that. Okay, so I think that's just slightly more consistent with the rest of the document. So it says save the document in the same file name we've already got. So make sure you've saved it. And it says print out, and make sure your name, center number, candidate number are on the document. So last step is to go to file and print. Again, just have a quick look before you print it that your name's on, and then you can send that to the printer. Okay. Thanks for watching. Good luck in your exams, and I hope this video has helped. Don't forget to subscribe for more IGCSE ICT videos. Thanks for watching.